Hey friends! So today we're going to be talking about a really important economic and sort of philosophical principle called tragedy of the commons. So tragedy of the commons occurs when you have a common space like a lake or a bay or public grazing lands that everyone can use and everyone can get some sort of benefit or reward out of. So what happens in tragedy of the commons, why it's a tragedy, is if you have multiple people trying to use one shared resource, like in this example, we'll use a bay. So if you have multiple fishermen trying to use a bay, kind of the human philosophy is that humans are selfish creatures, so everyone will try to reap maximum benefit from that one shared resource. So all the fishermen are going to try to get as many fish out of that bay as possible, because that's just the way humans are. We're the worst. So what happens is that when all the fishermen try to fish in this one bay, eventually, because fish can replenish themselves but only so quickly, fish have like a replacement value. So once you get below that value, the fish won't be able to repopulate quickly and eventually you'll kill off the fish. So if everyone's trying to reap maximum rewards from the bay, eventually people are going to fish so much that there's not going to be enough fish left to repopulate, and the fish populations will die out, and eventually everyone will suffer, because they'll all have, ruined this one resource they have. So tragedy of the commons is when you have a common space, everyone uses it, everyone tries to maximize, and eventually you end up ruining that shared resource, and then nobody gets anything out of it anymore. This is a really important environmental principle because it applies to a lot of the shared resources that we have, like public grazing lands. The same thing happens. Everyone wants to graze their cattle, but if everyone grazes their cattle, you're going to kind of stomp out the grass roots, and you're going to hurt the grass, and then the grass won't grow, and then no one can graze their cattle. Or it happens a lot with fishermen, like the Chesapeake Bay had a huge problem with it, or I live in Connecticut, so the Long Island Sound is another great example of like a tragedy of the commons type thing with fishing, or with lakes, or with any other shared resource that we have that provides some sort of service that people want to then exploit. So essentially that's tragedy of the commons, and sometimes that comes up on the APES exam, sometimes it doesn't. Either way, it's kind of a good life thing to know, because someone will say something and you can just kind of whip it out and be like, oh, that's tragedy of the commons. Then either everyone will think you're obnoxious or they'll think you're really smart.